When the first gate opened, exposing our world to countless others, we hoped for peace and prosperity, but were met with death and destruction. Aliens from an undead world turned our own weapons against us, and the skies rained nuclear fire. Those few who remained fought the losing battle for survival, and when all seemed lost, the Void Walker made himself known, and saved what little of humanity was still left. Under his guidance and with his power, we turned back those worlds seeking our destruction. But as suddenly as he arrived, he vanished, leaving us with an endless war. So when I first got into this hobby, I wanted to make my own game. I thought that's the end game, right? That's the end goal for me, is to make my own game. And so Pulsegate was born. And what you just heard was the introduction to Pulsegate and kind of, my setting of the mood for this world that I'm going to create. And for those of you who have seen what I'm doing so far, I'm trying to do, once a month, a thing to keep this world growing so that it's not just something that's in my mind, it's something that gets to be out there. And for those of you who know, I'm not a great artist, but I'm getting better. And so hopefully, by the time that I've got this all fleshed out and everything, my art meets the lore that I've created for Pulsegate, and I hope you enjoy that. And today we're going over one of the special classes, one of the military classes of the human race, known as hotheads or fire mages. And I hope you enjoy it, because I think they're really fun, and I cannot wait to talk about how their characters actually work in the game. The greatest tool that the Void Forger brought us was the use of void engines, or cores, left behind when the gates were opened on our Earth, connecting us to the other planets in the universe. These stones could be put into the body of a child, and then, as the child grew, the core would grow with them, giving them access to magic, giving them access to things that they never had access to before. And it was only because of this that we were able to turn back the tides of enemies that assaulted our planet. The first of these that we used in our military were the hotheads. Once the core was inserted into their body, their temperature changed forever, always being in a state of high fever and getting up to temperatures of 150 degrees or higher when they used their magic. The side effects were almost greater than the benefits, but when we're up against a battle that we cannot win, any advantage has to be taken. And so the hotheads became as mass-produced as we were able to. Every time they breathe, they expel smoke from their lungs. Their core inside of their body forever changed by the growth of the void core. They began wearing gas masks with filters reversed so that the smoke coming out of their lungs didn't fill the air of the people around them, but they've been known to take these masks off during night missions to better see and to sometimes mask their own presence. The stones didn't only affect the magic inside of the individuals, but it affected the body of the individual as well, making their size 2 feet larger than the average male, standing at about 7'10" to higher, some getting up to 9 feet tall. And with that came increased muscle mass. These soldiers are bigger, they are stronger, they are more powerful. But the cost of that is great. The white in their eyes has changed to a blood red. Their vision has almost changed to be that of being able to see heat signatures instead of being able to see actual colors. Their skin became hard and leather-like in an attempt to keep the heat inside of their bodies. And their veins began to show with like a heat inside, almost like lava in a volcano. One of the signatures of these hotheads is the black skin that extends from their fingertips to up their arms. The greater the mage, the further the black extends up their forearms. And we didn't learn until it was too late that one of the most catastrophic pieces of magic that these hotheads are now part of is that when they die and their body can no longer contain the magic from the void engine, their bodies explode, turning them into walking bombs when detonated, making it so most of the missions they're sent on with small groups or alone. Make no mistake, the hotheads are key to our military. When the undead mechanical beings that first invaded our world came, they left behind weapons that we hoped to use against them, but quickly found that the plasma contained was so dangerous that none of us could use them without succumbing to radiation and poisoning. The only caveat to that rule is that the hotheads are able to wield these guns to our benefit. Their only true weakness is the cold, which makes them move slower and makes it almost impossible for them to use their magic. But as of yet, that has not been a problem. I hope this gives you a little bit deeper of a look into what I'm doing here with these characters. These wouldn't be your average soldiers on the field. These would be your, Space Marine-esque type characters that are stronger, more powerful than the average human, but it comes at a huge cost, and their deaths will change the face of the battlefield regardless of where they are when they're actually being played with. How great is it to have a character that turns into a bomb? It's great until they're on the bottom floor of a building that your characters are inside of, and their death brings the building down with everyone else inside it. And so it's stuff like that that makes me so excited to make this game, because I don't know. I love that stuff. So if this has any interest to you and you like seeing this, please please subscribe, stick around. The hotheads, they're a fun part of this, but they're only a tiny, tiny part of one race that's going to be involved in this game. And I'm just going to keep bringing these out, and hopefully once a month you chime in. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think I should do better. Let me know what ideas you have. And hopefully together we can get this game going at some point. So thank you for joining me today. And as always, don't spend so much time making your world that you forget to spend some time in it. Until next time.